Hello there guys, and welcome to this Explain 11 video. Today we're going to be flying the Embraer 110 on a full flight service from Portland to Seattle. Our approximate flight time is 45 minutes and we're going to be cruising at about 8,000 feet. I am also happy to report that most of the issues that were reported in my review video of this aircraft have been resolved, and there is an updated version of the aircraft at the Explain org store. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have enough fuel for our flight. So we're going to come here and fill those tanks to about 50% capacity. Now we're going to do the same thing on the right side here. That should be sufficient for our flight today. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at our flight plan. So we have a very short flight plan today. We're going to be departing Portland, runway 10 right, and then we're going to fly direct to Koga, direct to Craig, and then it's our start, which is the Hawk Zulu 6 star into Seattle, and we're going to land runway 16 left. Let's take a quick look at our charts here. This is our star into Seattle, and as you can see, this is going to be our path. This is Craig here, so as soon as we reach Craig, this is the beginning of our star, which is the Hawk Z, and then we're going to come over here all the way to Key West and then finally to Vashon. From Vashon, we need the approach plate, so let's go to approach, and we're going to do ILS runway 16 left, which is this one here. So we need, after Vashon, we need to go to the pane VOR, so we will track the pane VOR. The pane VOR is at 110.6, I believe. And from there, we need to be at 4,000 feet. And the final approach course is 164 degrees to Seattle. And the localizer ILS frequency is 110.3. As you can see here, we need to be at 1900 to intercept the glide slope, and everything is looking pretty good. All right, let's head back to the aircraft now. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to come here to the exterior. Now, if you say remove all, what it will do, it will remove all the ground equipment and turn the battery on. As you can see, the battery is now turned on. All right, let's go to the checklist. Pre-flight checklist. Pre-flight inspection is complete. Initial inspection is complete. Cabin and cockpit inspection, everything looks good to me. The doors are closed. Seatbelts are adjusted. Parking brake is set. Propeller levers are on maximum. So let's do that. And let's see here, battery is on, anti-collision light is rotating, so this one is here, nav lights are on, inverters should go to the on position, and let's see, totalizer is on, or set, beg your pardon, fuel pumps, let's come over here, I'll put it on the on position, it's fine, back to auto, fuel pump is on, same thing here, this looks good, and this goes to the on position. And the radios are off, which they are. Okay, and now we're going to go to start and taxi, and as you can see, this is a very simple aircraft to operate. So let's go ahead. It says here start, ignition indicator is on, and we're going to observe positive indication for oil and fuel pressure, and then we're going to set the fuel condition lever to low idle. So let's do that. We're going to begin with the right engine first. So start, we have positive fuel and oil indication, and where we go. We have a good start. And we're going to do the same for the left engine. Start, and we're going to observe positive fuel and oil indication. I can see the oil rising there. All right, there we go. All right, we have a good start on both engines. Let's uncage that. here. There we go. All right, so let's continue with the checklist. It says here, check, everything is fine. Engine start is complete. Battery master is on battery. Generators, we need to turn on. There we go. Generators are now on. Pitot heat, inertial separation as required. Static pitot heat as required. PX heat as required. We're going to turn both of these on. And seatbelt and non-smoking signs are now on. And battery temperature monitor test. We can test this here. Looks good to me. And then we need to arm the emergency lights. Radios as required. We need to turn the radios on. And here's what we're going to do here momentarily. So we'll put this on standby. Okay, so and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and turn on the transponder. There we go. Now for the radios, what I'm going to do is I do have the flight plan in there, but just in order to maximize the benefit for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and delete the flight plan. So I'm going to go to here to menu, and I'm going to delete the flight plan. All right, so we are now at Kilo Papa Delta X-Ray, which is Portland International. And what we're going to do is we're going to enter our waypoints. Let's see here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So here we're going to enter the next waypoint, which is Kuga. All right, so let's see here. C, Charlie, and Oscar. Uniform. Golf. That's Kuga, and enter, accept. And after Kuga, we're going to go direct to Craig. So we're going to do the same thing here. Kilo is there. Romeo. India. And then Golf. Was it? Let's see here. No, it's Echo. That's Craig. And enter, accept. And our final destination is Seattle. So what we'll do is Kilo Sierra Alpha, and then no, that's not the right thing. Hang on, that's not the right one. Let's see. All right, let's start over. Kilo Sierra, and then Echo, and then Alpha. There we go. That's Seattle. Okay, so this is our flight plan from Portland to Seattle. And what we can do now is we can go to Seattle, and we're going to select our arrival. So select arrival, enter. And this is our arrival, the Hawk Zulu 6. Hawk Zulu 6, and enter. And we're going to do this through the Craig transition. All right, so enter that, and runway 16 left. All right, that's runway 16 left. And we're going to say load, and now we have it loaded here. Okay, so we're pretty much now ready to go. And by the way, this is the ILS frequency of the Payne VOR station. We're going to program, let's go ahead and grab the ILS frequency real quick, which is 110.3. All right, so 110.3, and we're going to enter that in the, let me make this the active, And we're going to change this one to 110.3, which is the ILS frequency. And that's pretty much good. We need to be in GPS mode initially to navigate our flight plan. And once we reach the end of the star, as indicated on the star airport chart, then we need to switch to VLOC again. All right, let's continue here. Radios, radar, transponder, air conditioning as required. We're going to let me remove this momentarily. We're going to put this on vent, warm, and we'll do these, put this on auto. All right, that looks good to me. Let's go ahead and put that here. All right, so taxi, we need, no, we forgot something. Nose wheel steering, there we go. All right, nose wheel steering, and now we're ready to taxi. So before we do taxi, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this back here twice, put it here, and let's turn on our taxi lights. Taxi is on, and now everything looks good. We're gonna set flaps 25 for departure. All right, flaps 25, and let's see here. Maximum RPM for the prop levers, power levers, taxi. Everything else here is fine. Fuel pumps are fine. All right, we're gonna skip the engine run up here, and with that, we have concluded the start and taxi. So we're gonna go to the takeoff page. Utility lights are on at night, which they're not now. Flaps are 25. Flight controls are checked, and all is good. Takeoff data is checked. Takeoff briefing is complete. The strobe will turn on just before we enter the runway, and everything here looks good. All right, let's remove the checklist, and we can now release the parking brake, and let's give it some power. There we go. This flight is also going to give us the chance to check out the FPS of Seattle. A lot of you guys have been asking about the FPS at Seattle, the new Jurassic scenery. And I can tell you guys that I have really noticed no degradation in performance whatsoever. I've loaded the IXCG 737, the flight factor A320, and I've averaged about 40 FPS with those aircrafts with my settings. All right, we're coming up to the runway here, and we're going to go ahead and turn the strobe on, landing light, taxi light off. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn the auto feather on, and we're going to put the mixture on full ridge. Alright, that's 10 right, and we're ready for departure. Let's go. Terrible steering. 80 knots and rotate. Alright, and 120 knots. Positive rate, gears going up. Yeah, gear is up. And at about 130 knots, we're going to go ahead and retract the flaps. All right, we're going to reduce power just slightly here. And we're going to maintain the same rate of climb. We're going to wait at about 1,000 feet, and we're going to begin our turn to intercept the flight plan path. All right, close enough to 1,000. Let's begin our turn now. We're going to do a right turn. Really a beautiful aircraft to hand fly. Alright, let's take a quick look at our flight plan here. There we go, that's the flight path. So we're looking good. We're reaching about 160 knots or so. So what we need to do now is we need to put the props on about 91. I think that's close enough. Alright. About 2,000 feet. Alright, we're going to begin now adjusting our turn here. All's looking good. Alright, and at this point what we can do is we can engage the autopilot. And let's just remove this here, and we're going to turn this on. Autopilot, your damper is on. Nav. And now the aircraft will navigate the flight plan that we've entered. Speed is good, rate of climb is good, and we're going to climb to 8,000 feet. Alright, a few things we need to do now. We need to turn off the auto feather, and we need prop sync to go on, which is right here. We don't need the hydraulics booster pump anymore. Alright, all's looking good now, and we continue our climb. Alright folks, so we just hit 8,000 feet, and I pressed the altitude hold button, and that should maintain our altitude now at 8,000 feet. Our speed is probably going to go up. So we need now to put the prop levers on about 83%. So let's retard those. Yeah, that's about right there. That looks good. Okay. And we're just now need to make small adjustments to our throttle or power levers to maintain our current speed, which is currently set at about 170 knots. Alright folks, at this point you can enjoy the flight, and I will check back with you right before our top descent. Welcome back folks. Here is a quick progress report on our flight thus far. We are now heading to the beginning of our star, which is the Hawk Zulu 6 star into Seattle. This is the Hawk Zulu, as you can see here. We are about 24.6 nautical miles. What we're going to do is we're going to begin, as soon as we reach Hawk Zulu, we're going to begin our descent to 4,000, and we're going to maintain 4,000 until we clear the VOR station. Let me just give you a quick look of the map. This is the X-plane map. This is the aircraft here, and if we zoom in here, this is the airport. So this is Seattle Airport. This is our final destination. We're going to be heading this way up here. This is the VOR station. This is the Payne VOR station. So we're going to come from here, we're going to pass Seattle City. That will give us a chance to see the really nice buildings at Seattle City. And then we're going to make a turn to the VOR station, and then we're going to come back and land here at Seattle Airport. So this is according to the approach plate. This is our star into Seattle. So everything is looking good. About 20 nautical miles before we begin our descent. And I will see you guys just before we begin the descent into Seattle. Alright folks, we have now reached our top of descent point. As you can see, we have also the DME distance to the Payne VOR station right here. And let's take a look here. That's the beginning of our star. We're going to go to procedure, and we're going to say activate the approach and enter. Alright, so we're going to begin our descent now. We are 69 nautical miles from the Payne VOR station. So let's go ahead and initiate descent. 1, 2, 3, We want it to go to about 500 feet per minute. I think is okay. Right about there. Yep. We're gonna ease off on the power a little bit to maintain our speed. That's about 500 feet per minute. And what we're gonna do as well is we're gonna go to Seattle Airport, and we're gonna grab the altimeter real quick, which is 3008. Which is exactly what we have here, so we're good. We are now descending to 4,000 feet. As you can see, this is Seattle Airport ahead of us, and we're going to hit the altitude hold button momentarily here to hold our altitude at 4,000 feet. I think that's close enough, and altitude hold. Alright, so we're going to hold at 4,000 feet now, and let's take a quick look at our flight plan. We are heading to Breve, and let's see here. So Breve, Nets, Key West, and Vashon. We are approximately 22.4 nautical miles from Vashon, and we should be able to see the city momentarily. We are now in the vicinity of the Dreamfoil scenery, and as you can see, no loss of performance there whatsoever. Pretty smooth flight so far. So let me go ahead and remove this here. Yep, there we go. That's the airport, and everything is really looking pretty good. Yeah. At this point, we are at about 3 nautical miles from Vashon, which is our last waypoint. After Vashon, we need to track the Payne VOR. Seattle City is to our right. As you can see the buildings, we can see the buildings from right here. And we're looking pretty good. That's Seattle Airport right here to our right. Again, no loss in performance as we head towards the scenery here by Jureski, I think is how you say it. So all is looking good. 1.1 nautical miles. Momentarily, we're going to switch to VLOG to track the Payne VOR station. Just to give you guys a little bit of a, this is Seattle Airport, and that's us here. And that's the VR station that we're going to be heading to. And once we are here, then we're going to make the turn back to Seattle to land. But yeah, all is looking good. All right, what we can do now is switch to VLOG. So let's come over here, VLOG, and that's the, now we're going to head over to the VOR station. And as you can see, we're flying to the VOR station now. This is the distance. As you can see, we can see it here and here. Payne VOR, the radial is 176 degrees. The distance is 24 nautical miles. All's looking good. All right, folks, we are now 5 nautical miles from the Payne VOR station. I think we're close enough. What we're going to do now is we're going to switch to heading select. And what we're going to do is we're going to fly in exactly the opposite direction. So we're going to change the course now to 164, which is our approach course today. So that's about right here. And I'm going to change our heading to intercept that course. There we go. About to complete our turn here. And as you can see, the airport is right ahead of us now. So let's see here. We need to adjust the... there we go. Just our heading just a little bit here. And what we're going to do at this point is we're going to switch the frequency to the ILS frequency. All right, there we go. And we're going to hit on approach button down here. Approach. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, we are now on a path to the runway. I'm going to go ahead and start reducing our speed now. And we need to turn on auto feather is now set. And we continue our descent towards the runway, and our speed is still a bit too fast, so we're going to have to reduce our speed to about 130 knots. At 130 knots, we can begin extending the flaps and lower the landing gear. Right, so all's good here. We need to put the air conditioning on vent. And landing lights are on. Everything here is looking good. Alright, we are now at about 130 knots, so what we can do is we can extend first degree flaps. That should help reduce our speed further. Alright, landing gear. Alright, and at this point I'm going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot. And it's my plane now. And we're going to reduce our speed to 80 knots, which is the approach speed. Just really slight wind here as we come into approach Seattle. Nothing too serious. Very beautiful scenery of Seattle, and as you can see, it's pretty smooth. There is no loss in frames. It's looking pretty good. So if you're really thinking about if you have a higher end machine, I don't think that you should have any problem with this scenery. A lot better than, for example, the New York City scenery, I can tell you that. Really optimized for performance. Alright, and we're going to go to flaps full. That should help us reduce our speed further to the 80 knots mark, which is the desired approach speed for our current weight. There we go, all's looking good. Again, we're aiming at 80 knots for our approach. And we're doing pretty good at the moment. Just about the 80 knots mark there. And touchdown. Welcome to Seattle, ladies and gentlemen. And we can put now the power back. And we're just going to wait for the aircraft to decelerate a bit before we apply manual braking. We don't need the mixture on rich now, so we can retard that. And that should help slow down the aircraft. Alright, we can use manual braking now, just slightly here to slow down the aircraft. And we can do a turn here. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at our landing momentarily. We'll just bring the aircraft to a complete stop right over here. Alright, parking brake is set. And we're going to go ahead and kill the fuel All right, let's take a look at our landing. Well, folks, our flight today contained some errors. I can't say that it was a perfect flight. Nevertheless, I hope that it was a useful and insightful video. If you have any questions, please do post them in the comments section below. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.